she does have a slight deformity. Hello and welcome back to Sage and Stone Homestead. My name is Heather. This is Idolin. Idolin is going to have her second ever freshen today. So she was due 2 days ago. Her due date was January 2nd. So only a couple of days overdue, but I'm happy to report that her little tiny udder that she had before, it has grown. So I know a few of you guys guessed that she was going to have twins. And I think I'm in the twin camp. So we should find out in probably just a couple hours for me, just a couple minutes for you, and hopefully we have just as flawless and eventless birth as she had her first time. One funny thing that she's been doing is every time she's got a contraction and she's near me, she's becoming a lap goat. She stands on my leg, and she's tiny. She's one of my smaller Nigerians, but she's not light. I think the last time I weighed her, she was 65 pounds, and when you put 65 pounds on little tiny hooves, ugh, it kind of hurts. Idolin's actually, she's been dam raised. She acts a lot like a bottle baby, but we like to dam raise our kids here because we can create friendly goats regardless. A lot of people choose to exclusively bottle feed so that the goats are very handleable, and I think that's probably pretty important for a larger goat herd or a larger establishment. But for us, we don't have so many goats that we can't sit and handle the babies really often, and that's really all it takes. It's just a couple minutes a day sitting down at the barn, letting the babies crawl all over you, giving them pets, and then you have lap goats for life. Oh, good burp. So that's one thing that I noticed, that my does, when they're in labor, they do a whole lot of labor burps. So it's a really good confirmation for me that she is actively in labor. Sometimes their ligaments can kind of disappear or go away on their back end, which is usually a good sign that they're going to have their babies within 24 hours, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're in an active stage of labor. But my does, once they start getting the burps, we're in an active stage. I know, soon. Very soon. Push the rest of it out. Push the rest of it out. You can do it. You do need help. Push the rest of it out. I see blue eyes. Hi, baby. There. There we are. There's one doeling. Good job. This way. Come on. Mama. Look, right here. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Well, that might be it. Yeah. Maybe there might be something bumping back at me, but it could easily be her placenta. I don't feel anything super bony. So once I saw the baby drink, I was comfortable walking away and grabbing Mama's molasses water. The molasses water, you know, it's not expressly necessary to give them molasses water, warm molasses water after they kid. A lot of people do it because sweetening their water like that really helps them drink a lot of it and help some fluids that may have been lost during delivery. It's also a really good energy source, and it helps give the dough some essential minerals.
Are you a grandma again? You are.
So little doeling, she's beautiful, but she does have a slight deformity. And this is something that I kind of expected to see because Idolin has a third teat or a spur teat. It is not functional, but she has had a 4-teated baby. So when baby dries off and Mama has nursed a couple times, I'm going to bring her out into the sun and show you what that looks like. But these 2 goats are going to be culled from my herd. So Idolin is actually out of Pepper right here, and Pepper knows that her daughter just had a baby and is very curious. And we got Pepper from Living Traditions Homestead, and she had never freshened with them. And so I didn't notice that Pepper has a really tiny spur teat on one of her teats until she freshened here with me. And apparently that does carry on through the genes. I did keep Odious, he's one of our main bucks that we have here, out of Pepper because he has 2 teats. And I have read a couple different things online that say you can't breed out the 3 teat thing, but I kind of wanted to try that out for myself. We don't show, and if I have a kid born with 3 teats, we don't sell them registered. Because honestly, the 3rd, 4th teat, it doesn't affect the way that they milk. Pepper, her spur teat, she's honestly my favorite quality udder aside from the teat. So if I can get the 3rd teat thing to breed out, then that's awesome. And I don't necessarily want to take the internet's word for it. It's something that I kind of really want to test out for myself. So our first Odious babies are due in March, and we've got some more in April and probably some more in May. I've got to check my notes. But if Odious's babies start coming out with 3 teats, I know none of my other does have 3 teats, that we're going to have to cull Odious and all of those babies too.
Look, another dam raised baby who loves people, huh? Hi, bud. You're a good boy.
So cull does not mean kill, and I think that's a common misconception, is that when you talk about culling an animal, that means they're automatically going to be a meat animal. That's not necessarily true. A lot of times with the 3-teated and 4-teated goats, that is the end goal or the end result, especially when you're talking about a show herd. We do not have a show herd here. We like to have registered animals because I like to see the lineages and I like to know that I'm selling purebred stock, but a 3rd teat, a 4th teat really doesn't disqualify them, in my mind, to be a great homestead milker. So we're going to try to pass on Idolin and her baby to someone who just wants a homestead milk animal and who doesn't care about that 3rd or 4th teat. It really doesn't affect the way that they milk out at all or the way that they can raise babies. It's one of those things that's more of a show issue and less of a real structural issue. That is controversial, so some people are probably going to come for me for saying that, but I'm not going to sell them registered, so we don't have to worry about them entering some kind of registered gene pool where you may have to worry about that coming up, so don't worry about that. I just don't think that 2 does that can be really great milk animals for somebody need to go in the freezer. Actually, 3rd teats are allowed in the meat goat shows, the purebred meat goats. So, I mean, clearly it's not a problem everywhere. But dairy animals, it's all about that udder, and you need it to be perfect. So I definitely understand why a 3 and 4 teated goat is not ideal for the dairy shows. It is actually time to milk Pepper, so I will show you the little spur teat that she has. I have no idea if this is even going to come up on camera, and the fact that she has a furry udder is going to make it a little bit hard to see. But this teat right here has a tiny little nubbin. It looks like a little mini mitten hanging from her udder, and it doesn't spray milk in any funny way. It's the smallest little imperfection. But Pepper has also delivered a 4-teated baby before that we sold unregistered to somebody who wanted her for milk. Because there's so many things I like about Pepper's udder, I kept Odie. Odie I inspected very, very closely, and he appears to be 2-teated. But like I said, Pepper appeared to be 2-teated. Now, I did not inspect her at all when we first got her. I actually didn't even think to look. I didn't know that multiple teats could be a thing until I think it was when Pepper was having her first set of kids for me, which Idolin is out of that first set, that I really saw it when she was, you know, laboring. Her udder was super huge, and I looked over and I said, huh, that's interesting. I think I see a deformity. So I looked it up, and yeah, it's a thing. Apparently, if you breed goats long enough, you're gonna see it. And there is a real divide on the internet, and probably in real life too, about what to do with these animals. I bet that really die-hard show breeders would absolutely cull them and never let them even touch somebody else's hands. But that's not really what we're about here. I don't know if we will ever show, and I don't think personally that it's unethical to be upfront and honest with people when you're selling them animals, and make sure, don't lay down, and make sure that the animal is going to fit the goals of the person buying them. So as long as you are upfront and honest about, hey, this goat's got 4 teats, or this goat has 3 teats, I don't see any issue if both parties are okay with that. So here she is. Her ears will perk up a little bit when she's fully dry, huh? But it's a little bit easier to see on this side. That, really obvious, multiple teats on that side. This side, it was a little bit less obvious. It's becoming more obvious now. You can see that little tiny teat that comes in closer to the baby's navel, upward that way. So she definitely has 4 teats. Ooh, I said you were blue-eyed. Maybe you're not. Oh, I think you might have gold eyes. You're still beautiful.